Good to have you on the show, 360 Sport on Trust TV. Adeni G. Shafe. A lot of our sporting activities that happened during the weekend in the NNL, NPFL, FA Cup over there in England. Not forgetting the fact that Leno was the hero for Fulham in that game against Manchester United. What a way to go in the FA Cup 50 round. And also the German Bundesliga, Italia Serie A, not forgetting Spanish La Liga, matches all over the world. A lot of games were played. Nigeria international Osimhen scored a brace for his team. Not forgetting Sadiq Umar and a host of others who also did well over the weekend in their various leagues there. We'll be looking at so many stories on the show, but right now we have to start from the home scene, talking about the Nigerian National League, where Conference A and B, they've actually ended their first stanza of the league. Let's start with the first story that has to do with that particular league there. NNL 2025, Osun United beat Solution FC to end first stanza. Well, as it is, they were able to win their game 1-0. And they got what they wanted, 3 points at stake, and now they celebrate for the fact that they were able to get the 3 points at stake. They are talking about Osun United for the fact that they were able to win this game, and a host of other matches that were played in the Nigerian National League. That's the first stanza in Conference A and B. Well, Conference A and B actually have the inclusion of both the result and the table. Let's have the result, and also while we look at the table. Well, as it says, on match day 11 result, those games played, you look at Akada 3-0 against 1472. It was actually a walkover. Crown FC defeated Beyond Limits by 2-1. Abia Comment played goalless against Smart City. You have Igbajo, Idel, and you look at all the games so far. Well, in Group A, just looking at how the result is so far, we have Crown FC having 10 points, Warri Wolves, Smart City, Inter Lagos, standing the Abia Comment, Beyond Limits FA, Dakada, Ijele, you have Idel, Ibaju, and all of them in that order for the Conference A and B on point for the fact that all the games have been playing right now. They at least have to rest for their first stanza of the competition. Still talking about the NNL, let's take a look at the Conference B. We have Osun United, Khalifa, Solution FC there. ABS defeated Gateway 1-0. Godswill, Akpabio 2-0 against Force Bank. Osun United 1, Solution FC 0. That's actually the first story we look at there. Rovers also pipped Sporting Lagos 1-0 to win their own encounter. Madiba FC against Khalifa will be ending their own by the time they play on Tuesday. But right now, looking at the table, Osun United actually topping with 22 points. Khalifa with 22 points, also about some at least +7, +6 on goal difference there. Solution FC, Rovers FC, Sporting Lagos. You have Gosu Akpabio in that's the 6th position. ABS of Ilorin, Madiba FC, Abakaliki FC, Force Bank, and Gateway United standing 11 on the log. Match day 10 here for their match day 11 anyway that we're looking at for the matches played. But really getting more interesting because the first stanza will be over after the completion of the match between Madiba versus Khalifa. Going back to Conference A now to check at least how it is in that Conference A. You look at Akada FC, who walk over 1472. They stand 7th on the log with 14 points. Ijele SC, Idel FC having 14 points. And you look at Idel, Igbajo United and 1472 with just 4 points. Looking at them playing 9 matches and 10 for 1472 FC. Abia Comment, Beyond Limits Football Academy standing 6th. Inter Lagos, you have Inter Lagos, Smart City, Warri Wolves, and Crown FC of Ogbomosho standing first in this particular group as they go on a break for the first stanza. Inter Lagos against Warri Wolves coming up on Tuesday. Igbajo FC, Idel FC, that game, well, as it says, since it didn't take place. But really, very, very interesting league because this is where you see the team that qualify for the MPFL. So, very, very important league as they call it. But right now, Crown FC are running away in Group A, Conference A rather, trying to see how they can do well in the second stanza. And if you look at the way it is, it's getting more interesting for the fact that all the teams from 1 to 4 really trying to see how they can hold their own and also try to make sure they will not go down. At least they want to move up to join the MPFL in the bigger league where they want to ply their trade. Well, talking about this just to let you have a feel of the Nigerian National League, NNL, where matches were played across the nation for the match day 11 result. Number of goals scored 6, away win none, home win 2, draw 1, and you have 2 losses there coming from the summary statistics of Conference A. Let's look at the summary statistics of Conference B before we move to the big boys, where we are waiting for our guests to join us over there from Lagos. Well, for summary of statistics, that's we have 5 goals scored for Conference B, away win none, you have home win 4, draws, you have nil, and you have losses. About 4 games were lost on that day where they play match day 11 in the Nigerian National League there. Well, right now, let's look at the big one happening. That has to do with the MPFL. Well, matches were played across the nation, and you look at Sunshine Stars, who right now did well. They were able to win their game 4-2. Remo Stars, they also tried their best. They were able to beat Plateau United at home, and they got the 3 points at stake. Not forgetting Kano Pillars, who actually did well. Well, let's take the story that has to come before the result, where we talk about Remo Stars doing well. They were able to win their game before. You also have Chelle visiting Kano before we look at how the results went down. Remo Stars beat Plateau United as Chelle watches Kano Pillars beat Rangers. Well, what a good one there for the coach. The coach actually traveled to Kano, although we have a short clip that there. That's a good one there. The coach watched Kano Pillars versus Rangers International in Kano at the Sani Abacha Stadium, and it's a good one at least for the national coach to go out there to watch MPFL. Like we always advocate that MPFL has come to stay. Nigerian sport will continue to push so that we continue to fall in love. No matter how it is, we continue to push our own. So right now, looking at this game between Kano Pillars and Rangers, it was a fantastic one there. They were able to do well. And you look at the penalty scored by Rabiu Ali, fantastic one there, converting that spot kick in favor of the home team, Kano Pillars, at Sani Abacha Stadium, where the Super Eagles coach, Chelle, was on ground to watch that particular game there. Well, good one there, just to let you have a feel of what's happening in Kano. Right now, we just have to look at the result of those games that were played across Nigeria. Sunshine Stars actually did well. They defeated Kwara United 4-2. That team seems to be bouncing back. Looking at the fact that at the beginning of the season, they were not fighting easy at all. But now they begin to bounce back. Being able to win 4-2 speaks a lot for that team, Sunshine Stars of Akure. You have Abia Warriors, who also did well against Nasarawa United. But Nasarawa United playing away, getting to share the spoil. In fact, had more chances there. That's a good one for Nasarawa United. They got 1 point, 1 goal against Abia Warriors, who were at home, and they also play 1-1 there with a draw to the Akiti. Abia Warriors, led by Imam Amapakabo, actually drew 1-1 against Salisu Yusuf, the former coach of Super Eagles. Bayelsa United, Ladamboso led his team to defeat Bende Insurance 2-1 over there in Yenagoa. For the fact that they fought hard, they were able to win that game 2-1, and that's a good one for Bayelsa United. Kano Pillars also play against Enugu Rangers, and they won that game 2-1 there. Congrats to Kano Pillars, who were able to win in Kano 2-1 over there in that game against Enugu Rangers. Niger Tornadoes, actually, this game was a way to go. And you have Ikorodu City. Eyimba did well. They were able to do their own over there in Lafia, defeating Niger Tornadoes. Ikorodu City defeated Atlant 2-0, and Remo Stars peep Plateau United 1-0. And we look at how it is in the match day 27 of the MPFL. Well, as it is, teams that are actually expected to do well, some of them really showed their class, and they were able to pick what they wanted in the MPFL there right now. Looking at MPFL, talking about the result there. Now, maybe we should just take a look at how the table is before we talk about other stories trending. Remo Stars right now, they're topping the table for the fact that they were able to do it. They were able to win their game against Plateau United in that encounter. For the fact that they won that game, they got 54 points ahead of others who are actually trading right now. Remo Stars are really running away with this league. 27 matches, 16 goal difference, and 54 points for Remo Stars. Congrats to them. They are bounced back again, being able to win that game and speak actually a lot of volume for the blue sky, as they call them. Rivers United right now at second, 42-42 alongside Shooting Stars, who will be playing their own game today. So if they are able to win, they also close it by 3 points. And if it remains the way it is, they will actually have 42 points there. Well, as it is right now, we're looking at the table. Enugu Rangers, Kano Pillars, I have Ikorodu City, Abia Warriors, Eyimba, Niger Tornadoes, and El Kanemi Warriors in that pecking order there. Well, for Remo Stars, they are back and they are celebrating. Well, our guest is actually ready with us. Let's have Eniton Badino join us from Lagos. Eniton, before you join us, we actually run through NNL, and also now we are in MPFL. So you make it 2 in 1 for us quickly, for us to talk about the NNL. Just briefly, then you focus on the MPFL, where Remo Stars are back to the top, and right now they are really ready to run through this league. They are going, no matter how it is, no matter how you draw them back, they keep pulling back the rope for themselves. So, Eniton, it's your turn.
So, an exciting week for most of our stakeholders and the fans who have come to love the NPFL, because you have to consider that it's been a while. We had a team played in the league season, and running away with the title. What we usually see is the competitive nature of the NPFL, where teams run neck and neck till the last day of the league. We saw it in the past 2 years. I think the closest last time we had something like this, where a team was this dominant, was when Rivers United. And at the end of that, I think that was the highest point margin any club has in the 2000 era, any club has ever won league title. And at least I can say, even in ever in the league history, about 77 points that Rivers United garnered that season, and that tells you how dominant Remo Stars have been. And of course, if you look at the transfer activity at the beginning of the season and in the middle way, that tells the story, the kind of depth. Even when they lost 2 of their important players, they managed to fill in with some of the top stars in the league, and that is working to their advantage currently. One of their new recruits, Samson Lasupo, who formerly played with Katsina United before venturing abroad and coming back to Nigeria, got that goal for them, that decisive goal in that tough encounter in Ikene. So that shows the depth and, of course, the ability of the team to be able to pull the chest under of the fire. But after Remo Stars, one thing you will notice on that table is the fact that we have other teams, about 6 between 2nd and 10, fighting for the 2 other slots in the league for the top 3 teams at the end of the season. You know, apart from winning the league for Remo Stars, other teams are also competing for the CAF Champions League, and of course a slot for the CAF Confederations Cup. So that's basically between 2nd and 3rd position. So the teams between 1st and 10 hold the distinction and have the ability to be able to stop one another. Shooting Stars lost it 2 match days ago when they drew at home against Lobby Stars. If not, they should be closer to about 5 points. 4 to 5 points difference between them and their closest rival. They were almost doing it in about Eyimba, where they played where Shooting Stars played, but they settled for a 1-1 draw at the end of that game. So they have to now do it all over again later tonight at the Lagos Alami Stadium at Damasinga against their direct rivals, Rivers United, who lead them in 2nd position based on goals difference. Shooting Stars has not been one of the top scorers so far this league. They scored around 26 and conceded 21, so they have a +5 goals difference compared to Remo Stars, who are at the top of the table. They have about +15 goals difference. Such a dominant performance for them. But everything else at the top of the table between 1st and 10, every one of them with a decent performance. We saw Ikorodu City decimating Atlant yesterday 2-0 right there at the MBJ Mobalaji Johnson Stadium in Lagos, Onikon. And so they are within 1 point of the 2nd position, waiting for the result between Rivers and most of the teams under Shooting Stars, from Kano Pillars to Academy, I will be hoping that the game in Ibadan tonight they draw, because it puts them at an advantage to take over that 2nd, or to make a move for that 2nd and 3rd position. So that's how dicey and that's how competitive the MPFL has been.
Okay, well, we're talking about the MPFL, and it's getting more interesting there for the fact that Remo Stars are really still holding forth to that table. They really want to run away with it as it is. Their ladies too are actually doing well. For like 25 years, the southwest side of Nigeria have not been able to taste this particular trophy. It has been from the southeast to the northern side, and now maybe they want to hold on to it now. Well, Badman has been with us. All right, we're talking It actually struck my mind to also look at the bottom of the table. No matter how it is, they are still part of the league. Let's look at how it is from 11 to 20 there. Kwara United, Bende Insurance, Kwatsina United, Heartland, Bayelsa, Plateau United, Sunshine, Nasarawa, Aqua, and Lobby Stars. But you know, I need not. If you look at it this season, it seems these particular teams, Plateau United, Sunshine, Nasarawa, Aqua, and Lobby, these are perennial teams, and when you look at them at the MPF, they are always at the middle of the park or even at top of the park, like Aqua, Nasarawa United, Plateau United. But this time around, they are not finding it easy at all, especially Lobby Stars and Aqua United. Are you not surprised?
I'm a bit surprised, especially if you look at the way Lobby Stars started the season. But one important thing that happened to them was change of management. And since that change of management, they've gone all the way down. Even before that, they've been showing signs of struggling with the former management trying to manage it, keeping coach Agabe in position. But immediately a new management was announced. They brought in a new set of coaches. That's former Nigerian international Daniel Amokachi, who also brought a Finnish coach to join him in that side. Now Daniel has resigned. They brought on another coach, Ganaru, to oversee their affairs for the rest of the season. And one other things you have to consider about the stability happening in Lobby, that they've changed home ground. They've not been playing. They've not been able to play at their home ground because it's undergoing rehabilitation. That's their powerful stadium right there in Makurdi. They've moved to Lafia. They've moved to Bauchi. As of I think they were playing in Jos. So switching between home grounds has not also been favorable for them. Now they are in Bauchi. If you look at it, from Makurdi to Bassey is some distance you have to consider, and that makes it look like they are playing away all through the season, despite the fact that they've made it their new home. And of course, that the traveling hours, not staying there full time, makes it hard for them to be able to have players who are not fatigued, because you have to consider the traveling. Moving between the north, the south, and other parts of the country can be a bit hectic for our footballers. Our football clubs don't fly that much to reduce the pace of the journey. So this is a team that is so fatigued. Then Aqua United, I'm not entirely surprised. In the last 2 seasons or thereabouts, especially last season, they've been struggling. They barely escaped relegation last season, basically, and also something similar with what they have with Lobby Stars. So that tells you that there's a sort of instability within the Aqua United. They've lost some vital points at home that they should have picked. Even when they had back-to-back home games, they lost to Remo Stars at home. Remo Stars had to come from behind, despite the fact they were losing by 2 goals at some point. Remo Stars came from behind. They drew against Lobby Stars at home. You don't draw against your direct relegation rivals, but that was what Aqua United did. National United is sort of rejuvenating themselves. They pulled a huge result just this weekend when they went to the high-flying in Humaya to pick out a 1-1 draw. They have the league highest goal scorer so far, Anas Yusuf, who is leading, who is already in double figures, but his goals seems not to be enough. They've also recently changed coaches, so you now see the characteristics between the last 3 teams. They recently picked former national team, former Enugu Rangers Kano coach Salisu to man the affairs of the team to see if they can pull them out of the relegation zone. They played a draw against Ikorodu City some matches ago, and now they are going away to pick a point. They are showing signs of bouncing back. Their performance gotten better if you watch some of their games. That might just be enough. They still have around 9 to 10 games to go to the end of the season, so they have enough game to sing the redemption song at the end of the day. Sunshine Stars have been in all sorts of trouble. If you look at the table, their goals difference is at -2. Their defense is so leaking, and their performances have been very poor. Recently, the management dropped about 3-match ultimatum surprisingly for every member of the coaching crew up to the backroom staff. All of them have been given 3-match ultimatum, and at the beginning of that 3-match ultimatum, they won in I think 6 to 7 goals chiller against Kwara United at the weekend. So they are also looking forward to opportunity to climb up finally. Plateau United didn't get their points restored, so it's a bit of work for them trying to climb out of the relegation zone.
Well, Edison Badino has been doing justice to the MPFL. Match day 27 is getting hotter there, especially for those teams: Aqua United, Sunshine Stars, not forgetting Nasarawa, even Plateau United, and shoe get size, Lobby Stars. It seems the shoe is no longer having size right now. What's happening to Lobby Stars? Changing the location, all that is not working. But that's football. At times you just go down. We saw what happened to Man City. When it was as if it's not the same Manchester City who actually went deep. Well, they're actually coming back now. Well, we're looking at the MPFL and the good one, Eric Chelle. Yes, it was in Kano to watch that match between Kano Pillars and Rangers. At least while we're talking, the clip will roll there. He was there, seated, and to watch that. And it's been going around. That's a good one, right, Obadino, for the fact that the national coach is going around to see how we can add more players.
The signs are good. This is about the third game. He was in Lagos to watch Ikodu City. He was in Ekene to watch Remo Stars, and now he's in Kano, moving around the league. But he's showing he has genuine interest in taking the league along. But however, we've seen this before. I've got to be honest with you. We've seen coaches during the Super Six in Lagos about the season Eyimba won the league title. Former coach Ose Peseru was stadium at the Super Six all through, where you had some of the best teams in the league. At the end of the day, we did not really get enough invite for MPFL players coming into the national football. This is a new coach. We are going to give him the same chance, and we are going to have the same expectations that we had of previous coaches before him. Hopefully, that these moving around league match venues from the south to the north, discussing the country, will not just be for show. To be for the actual fact that we will get quality players that we have seen and we have been seeing in the Nigerian Professional Football League playing, get their chances in the Nigerian national team. We know the national team has competitive for certain areas where we might get one of some of the players in the NPFL to fill in that position. We know there's an headache in the defensive part of the Super Eagles. Semi Ajayi, one of the most important players, is injured. We know in the midfield. We've been looking for attacking midfielders for a long time, and of course, some form of stability on our left wing back. These are positions you can look at the MPFL and give them a chance to try or compete. So hopefully, it gets better for us.
Well, seriously, we've been talking MPFL where actually traveled to watch Kano Pillars against Rangers. It's also that it's not going to be business as usual. You are going to watch this match. At the end of the day, you see one home-based player or MPFL player. By the time they release the squad, and in fact, they may not even see action. So, what's the point of going around? I'm sure those moving around is not on the free. Expenses have been made. It's better we know that as the coach is moving around to watch those matches, something good is coming for the MPFL player. Pick the best players and let them feature. They can also compete. It's always good to keep Super Eagles on their feet. Let them see that some people are there to also fight for their space. I remember when West Ham always open it, no matter if you are even playing in Plateau, it doesn't care. As long as you can do it, it will feature you. So that should be the point there. Let's look at maybe Eric Chelle will change that particular narrative. Going around now to watch these matches actually speaks for the home-based best players. Well, we've been talking about the MPFL, so we touch on NNL right now. Let's cross from football. Let's talk about athletics. We have some Nigerians who are applying their trade over there, especially in the US, when it comes to the sports of track and fields, and they are doing well. Among them is Nathaniel. Nathaniel actually doing well there. Ezekiel has been a 400-meter runner. He be it in 4x100 meter, be it the 400-meter quarter miler there. He's doing well, and right now he wins gold in 400 meters Big 12 indoor championship over there in the US. And really, he did well for his team. Baylor actually ran 44.74 seconds to win that race, and also beating his own record that he set 2 weeks ago. Right now, the man is holding 2 African records to himself. Nathaniel Ezekiel, fantastic quarter miler who is doing well for Nigeria in 400-meter race and also 4x100 meter. He did well for his team, his school team, where they were also able to come from 4th position to 1st in the 4x100 meter relay over there in the Big 12 indoor championship. Obadino, in athletics, Nigerians are really doing well. We've seen what they did at the NCAA, and now we've seen what this particular athlete, Nathaniel Ezekiel, also did by setting another record to beat his own record that he set 2 weeks ago.
Nathaniel has been knocking on the door of this big performance in the past 2 seasons. If you monitor him running for Baylor University in the NCAA, the Collegiate Athletics in America, of course, he's in the Big 12 division, a Division One region for SA Athletics right there in the United States, and of course, not just only he, Nathaniel alongside a few other Nigerians picked up some impressive medals at their various indoor championships, national indoor, the regional indoor championships rather. And so, of course, just 2 weeks ago, just like you mentioned, with 4.92, he broke the Africa indoor record, and now fast forward 2 weeks, he's running 44.74. He's in the form of his life, basically, and it has been building up. This is what you expect in athletics when an athlete is showing form at this rate, at this level. Basically, it tells you that he's done to a big thing in athletics, and of course, if he manages well, he will transition that performance to a major championship, something similar to the Big 12 championship, or even bigger than the NCAA. That's the World Athletics Championship later in the, because this is usually the issue that you have to do. Some of our athletes, we have some of the best, some of our best athletes at the NCAA, and by the time they are through with the school runnings, the NCAA, the regional championship, and the the national championship, they are too tired to transition that performance to a major athletics tournament for Nigeria. But this is such a good time for us, because you have to consider that now we are rolling back the years to the likes of Sunday Bada, NFL Gudo Bong, Jude, basically, and Chuku, some of these Clement Chuku, some of the top 400-meter runners for male. It has been sort of, for the lack of a better word, 400 meters male has been sort of dead for a while. But having Ezekiel Nathaniel, having Samuel Ogazi, the youngsters who came out of Kaduna, now also in the NCAA, setting new records, running sub 45 seconds here and there all over the NCAA, and of course at Middle Championship. That tells you something good is happening in our athletics, and we can only keep watch and hope it gets better.
Seriously, a lot of good things happening to athletics. We've seen a lot of them doing so well over there in the US, especially. You know, when it comes to athletics, United States seems to be having the toll at the top of that particular sport. And now we have a lot of, in fact, a host of athletes who are doing so well, both male and female. All of them are right now doing so well. In fact, at the NCAA, they shone like million stars. Additional to not to be left behind when it comes to long jump. And you look at all of them, Isaac, all of them doing so well. Favor of Philly, not forgetting Nathaniel Ezekiel, the one you mentioned, Ogazi, all of them doing so well, and we appreciate what they are doing. Tima, God bless also parts of them. And if you look at Nathaniel Ezekiel, seems to be taking the form of late Sunday Bada. The way he raced or races, you want to really look at another star athlete when it comes to quarter miler. And right now, we appreciate what he's doing, and at least reminding of us those beautiful days when we watched Moye, watch Dorbong for how they race with their lives. And right now, just so the Nigerian can go back to when we used to dominate athletics in Africa. I think it was only Frankie Fredericks from Namibia who was the man that...
Interestingly, the 44.74 is the number 2. That's the second best fastest time in the world right now. But for all time, it is on number 8. That means it's in the top 10 list of the best 400-meter times we have seen. The world has seen the indoor 400 meters. You have to situate this thing about how good this race he has run so far, being the current number 2 best timer for indoor record in 2025, number 8 on the whole-time list. Is his own school record. He also broke his own school record, which he won before, and that's for Baylor University. It's also a mixed record at the Big 12 championship record, and that puts everything into perspective. The kind of giant 400 meters we are having, a 400-meter runner that we are having. If you also look at Rejoice Sule, Rejoice Sule was also in action at the weekend. She in the 100 meters she couldn't pick a medal, but she picked a silver medal in the 200 meters. Adara Tabugo also in the 60 meter for women also picked a medal for Nigeria. So some of our guys really came out blazing at the NCAA regional championship. Most of them in Division 1 basically doing well. If you also look back a few races back, also at the weekend, Israel Okon Sunday equaled the fastest. That's the record for on an under 20 runner in the 60 meter male. Basically the best junior record that was previously held by Mark Louis Francis He also hit that record. He equaled it. So he's about the fastest Nigerian currently, and that is the performance of most of our athletes at the NCAA over the weekend.
Well, we're talking about the Nigerian athletes over there doing so well, mentioning Nathaniel Ezekiel as one of those stars who actually reminded us of when Nigeria used to dominate athletics. You remember Marion Yali, Yusuf Ali, and a host of all that who really dominate when it comes to track and field, and we hope that we can go back to that time where we are kings and queens of Africa, or even international when it comes to athletics. Right now, we've been talking concerning that, those sporty moment. Let's cross over and talk about the FA Cup. Big one happening yesterday over there where Manchester United, they were burned via penalty shootout against Fulham. Well, Bassey, Calvin scores as Fulham beat Manchester United on penalties to reach quarter-final. What a match, what a game there. Although the kudos actually went to the man who did well for them, their goalkeeper, but Leno became the hero for Fulham. He was able to score, he was able to keep well for that team. Almost, it was the enemy against Manchester United. I'm sure anytime it comes to Manchester United again, they will never forgive him. Well, as it says, he was a hero for Fulham in that particular battle. So Fulham right now, they are celebrating for being able to win, and they really did well. We have two Nigerians in that club, Alexi Wobi and Calvin Bassey, scoring that particular header actually spoke well for them. Well, as it is, Obadina, before you actually make for your point, let's quickly look at the results of the games, the FA Cup result. Aston Villa defeated Cardiff City to qualify for the quarterfinals. Crystal Palace against Millwall 3-1. Preston on hand 3 against Burnley. Bournemouth 5-4 against Wolves out on penalty. Manchester City against Plymouth Argyle 3-1. And you look at that's a penalty also. Newcastle United 1-2 against Brighton, and you have to give kudos to Brighton. Welbeck, well, good one for them. And Fulham 4-3 against Manchester United, also on penalty shootout. So, Obadina, your turn. Maybe you should start with Fulham versus Manchester United.
A top performance for, I'm a Nigerian, so I'll start from the Nigerian angle. A top performance from Calvin Bassey, getting them that goal. And of course, Manchester United, through their top player, Bruno, managed to find their way back. We also saw a little known Nigeria is making a senior debut. This is about the second or third game for Manchester United. That's Martin Chido Obi. Chido Obi basically coming up to play in that game. But Bassey was the top Nigerian in that game to get that goal. Manchester United still shows some signs of struggle when it comes to team cohesion in that game, with Fulham almost running away with it before that equalizer, and of course eventually he ended in a penalty for a penalty win for Fulham. The Fulham team also has within their ranks Nigerian international Alex Iwobi. So it was an interesting game, and all over England we saw some other interesting games with some form of drama, especially in the game between Crystal Palace and Millwall, where Mateta had to land in an hospital due to a very terrible challenge by the Millwall goalkeeper, but eventually Millwall got over the line with that 3-1 win. Of course, the Giant Killers before this round, Plymouth Argyle went up against incorporating, if I allowed to use that word, Manchester City. It looked like they wanted to pull something again that game, but that was quickly shut down by Manchester City when they end the 3-1 victory. But for me, I thought Newcastle was going to make a long push in the FA Cup. They did something similar in the Carabao Cup, but they lost to Brighton over and Albion in that game. So it makes it it reduces the number of competitions, and maybe of course on longer might just help them concentrate better on the Premier League, where they are seeking for a top 4 finish to go on from the bottom. Like you see in most cup games around the world, there are not too many surprises this weekend. Basically, we saw most of the big teams coming on top. Expectedly, we get to see a lot of giant killers in most FA Cup games, but that did not happen so much this weekend in England.
Okay, we're talking about the FA Cup there. Well, a big one for Fulham being able to dislodge Manchester United for the fact that Calvin Bassey also scoring. We appreciate the fact that he celebrated that goal with all his power. And right now, something very interesting about the result. Anytime you want to agree with me, as it is right now, it's only Preston. Let's have it. The Preston North End is the only team from Preston and Plymouth. These are the maybe by the time we look at let's look at the quarterfinals. Let's look at the quarterfinals now. Fulham will be facing Crystal Palace. Preston, Aston Villa, Man City, Bournemouth, Brighton, Nottingham Forest, Ipswich will play their game today. So whoever wins between the two will face Brighton. You look at all these clubs are Premier League except Preston North End, and it's glaring that a particular team, maybe so say, is like all attention is going to be on Manchester City, being the biggest here with the most powerful team. And as it is, everybody will be looking at them. Bournemouth against Man City will be a match to watch. But as it is right now, Man City, Preston are the only, in fact, the closest that have won this league. And others they've been able just trying to smell it, but they've never been able to. Don't know Crystal Palace, Fulham, Brighton, and all that. Well, as it is right now, attention is on Manchester City. Sir, do you think is theirs to take?
It's a tough call. I'm going to be honest with you. This is not the Man City that we've known over the years. The dominating, the all powerful Manchester City. That is not the team we are getting. Today they are hot, tomorrow they are cold. And also one thing you not take out on paper, you look at this picture and say, oh, this is Man City's game. But we've also seen Bournemouth, with son of former Dutch international and Barcelona legend Patrick Kluivert, also stepping up, scoring some incredible goals for Bournemouth so far this season. So Bournemouth has also demonstrated the fact that they can turn up when they are in the mood. So what we're looking forward to is which Bournemouth will turn up against Manchester City in an FA Cup game. Do they see the FA Cup as a way for them to win a major trophy, knowing that opposition-wise, except for Manchester City, most of other teams remaining so far in the FA Cup are teams they can measure up to in terms of peer level. So that means if they can take care of the most difficult and the one of the few teams that have won the FA Cup within the remaining teams at this level of the FA Cup, they might have a very good chance of going all the way to the final and even picking it up. That's for Bournemouth. Of course, that's not to say there are other teams there will not put up a challenge. We know Brighton on their day can put the chestnut out of the fire against any top team in the league that we have seen over time. Nottingham Forest have also punched. They've been rolling back the years to years where they won the UEFA Champions League, playing top top leagues, even in England. Now they are back. They stayed there. They are romancing somewhere close to the top four, between the top six. So Nottingham Forest, if they get over Ipswich Town, as most people expected later today, they should be another team that could have a say on how far this team will go. We also saw Fulham yesterday. Fulham are no pushover also in terms of their performances.
Well, it's going to be a tough one there, looking at the fact that attention will be on Man City and it's going to be under pressure for the fact that they are the biggest team left now among these quarterfinalists for the FA Cup. So getting interesting. Can Fulham sustain it? Can we see Bassey and Iwobi getting to the semi-final or probably get to the final or win the cup? We're waiting to see what's going to happen. After all, I remember Birmingham City against Arsenal. No one gave it to Birmingham City. Obafemi Martins was able to at least salvage that cup for them. Still on record that Birmingham City see him as their hero for the end of the world. Well, right now we've been talking about the FA Cup game that took place over there in England, where Fulham shocked Manchester United. Courtesy of Ben Leno, the goalkeeper, who right now is public #1 enemy of Manchester United. Anyway, that's football. You just hope that at times it goes the way you plan it. But for Fulham, they have that goalkeeper to thank for his heroic performance in that game. Well, while we're talking about that, another Nigerian did well. We cross over to Spanish La Liga, where Sadiq Umar was able to score a brace for his team, Valencia, as they face Osasuna in the 3-3 draw, a game that was very tough for both of them. Although Valencia right now, they are not really doing well in La Liga, but at least getting 1 point is better than none. Well, that's the story in the La Liga. Now let's look at the result so that Obadno can do justice to the result and also the table. Matches were played. Surprisingly, Real Madrid lost against Real Betis 2-1. You have Sevilla against Vallecano playing 1-1. 2-2 between Celta Vigo against Girona. Valladolid 1, Las Palmas 1. Barcelona came very angry against Sociedad and they won 4-0 in that game. 1-1 between Alaves and Mallorca. Osasuna 3-3 versus Valencia, the one we actually used to open the La Liga story, where our own Sadiq Omar was able to score a brace there for the get a point. So, Badina, good one for Sadiq Omar. This will actually speaks volume for him in his career, because the confidence will be back after so many hiatus in goal scoring.
Definitely. He was out for a period of time over injury. By the time he got back to his former team, he could not get back into their starting level, so he had to go out on loan to a struggling Valencia side. I used to be a former powerhouse in the La Liga, but now the power has left them. Power has changed hands for Valencia. Now they are fighting for their life and fighting for their La Liga status, which is being helped by the performance of their winter window recruits. Talking about Sadiq Umar and just Sadiq Umar. It's no doubt that Sadiq has always got the goals in him, if you have to be honest, but it was a matter of when he will pick up his confidence. And most important in that game, when I watch a playback of the highlights, seeing that second goal, that exquisite touch from that position in the box to behind the back kick, basically to send in the ball beyond the goalkeeper. It reminds me of when Kano was at Arsenal, not the same position in terms of distance to go, but a similar technique that Kano did against Leeds United in that win for Arsenal back then in the Premier League. So watching it basically, watching Sadiq Umar get confidence back, getting the goals flowing for him, tells you basically that he's ready. He has got his form back, has scored a brace, we will help him, and on the long run help Valencia as a whole to get back on form, to get out of the relegation zone. They are closer to getting out of the relegation zone, apparently because of this result, and it can only look better for them. But if you look at the top of the table, that's where the action is happening. Between the La Liga giants, Barcelona, a comfortable and domineering win, running 4 goals or more to get back to the top of the table, and of course Real Madrid losing to Real Betis 2-1, courtesy of their former player Isco. It was a tough loss for Real Madrid to accept.
Maybe just about check that your phone so that at least that one will not be disturbing us. We are not playing tennis, talking football. And Badino has been with us and he's been doing justice to all the story we're looking at. And right now, let's take a look at how the table is for Real Madrid. They lost against Real Betis. And right now, well, where they were hoping that they will close the gap, the gap is getting widening little by little. Barcelona 57 points, 56 for Atletico Madrid. Real now 54. Before they were topping, later they drew with, they are on the same level with Barcelona, but now Barcelona have taken over. Well, right now, between the three, it's still a battle anyway. 3 points at stake between the three, 2 points between the two. And you look at the three attacks of La Liga right now for this season. Obviously, you want to agree with me that it's still not over yet, because the three teams, Atletico, Madrid, Real Madrid, and Barcelona, seems to really want to fight till end. 57, 56, 54. It can still be for anyone out of the three.
Basically, we've seen the league change hands in the last 3-4 weeks in the La Liga. Previously, it was Real Madrid at the top. Now they're in third position. We've seen Atletico Madrid having a huge say about who gets to stay on top or who leaves the top position in the La Liga. So there's still so much to play for. 3 points is such a low point margin for anybody to feel assured or to feel comfortable in the league table in La Liga, knowing that the likes of Atletico Madrid and the likes of Real Madrid are bearing down your neck. And like I think we discussed last time, Athletic Bilbao has also been putting themselves in the mix, trying to shock or exploit any available loophole. So nobody's really safe at the top of that La Liga table, knowing that it's 3 points between first and third. And that is very important. Atletico Madrid has just 1 point difference between them and Barcelona, which is also a close margin that will not make any of them comfortable. Overall, Barcelona has gotten more wins out of the top 15. They've gotten 18 wins so far this season, while drawing less games and losing more, about 5, compared to Real Madrid, who has won just 16, drew around 6, and of course lost lesser than Barcelona. So the points keep exchanging margins over time, looking at who will lose sleep. It's something like when somebody would say, if you blink twice, at the top of the La Liga table, you find yourself in third or fourth position. That's the kind of the competitive season that we are witnessing in the La Liga for these three top teams. We saw how Isco made life difficult for Real Madrid, the former player who stepped up, celebrated, and later turned around to apologize for celebrating. Football is such an emotional sport. You can never really predict how people react over this stuff, but it was interesting to see Real Madrid taking a fall from their former player.
Seriously, Isco became enemy to Real Madrid fans there, even though he later apologized, but the emotion took better side of him, and he realized that, oh, I'm playing against my former team. Well, he had to make apologies to the fans of Real Madrid, which some of them are saying apology not accepted. Anyway, that's football. Well, our time is almost up, but we just have to look at, well, maybe we just leave Italia and talk about Osimhen. Osimhen really has been superlative for his team over there, Galatasaray, and he was able to score twice. Super Liga, Osimhen net twice as Galatasaray draw Kasim Pasa in 6-goal thriller. It was a game that was really, really very, very at least good for Osimhen, where he was able to score a brace, a penalty, and also added another one. And right now, the man is actually on fire when it comes to goal scoring. Obadino.
Yeah, it was an important brace, an important game for Galatasaray just to continue to hold on to their top spot. And they could have done well with a victory, knowing that Fenerbahce is breathing down their neck. But it was better and safer that they got at least a draw than getting 0 points. Like some coaches will joke that if you say 2 points lost, they'll say it's 1 point gain because they could have lost and got 0. And that was how important that was for Galatasaray in that game. And most importantly, for Osimhen, he kept him at par, meaning that he has now scored 26 goals and assists in 26 games so far in all competitions, both the Turkish Cup, the Super League in Turkey, and of course the UEFA Europa League that they lost out last time. But for the league proper, he's on 16 goals now. The same goals as Morocco's El Nesri, who plays for Fenerbahce. So basically just some little difference between both strikers, but they are both on 16 goals, while Piatek is basically the top goal scorer in the Turkish Super League on 18 goals. But both of them have played more matches than Osimhen. Osimhen has played two less matches compared to the two other players ahead of him in the goal scorers chart. So he's looking good for Osimhen. He's showing that class is permanent. Wherever you put him, either at Lille, either at Napoli or Galatasaray, he will only deliver the goals. And so that makes it very interesting and important what the chances for summer transfer would look like for Victor Osimhen because he is hot, he is delivering everywhere, and teams are knocking at his door.
Well, seriously, class is permanent. Talking about Victor Osimhen, VO9, doing so well when it comes to scoring goals for Galatasaray over there in Spain, rather Super Liga, Turkish League there. Well, we've been doing justice with those stories alongside Enito Obadino, who has actually joined us from Lagos. Enito, I want to appreciate your time with us. Thank you so much for your in-depth analysis. We appreciate you a lot. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be on your show.
Okay, good one there. Before we go, just taking Gombe United, parting ways with Coach Balani Q. Just let's have that particular statement coming from Gombe United. The management of Gombe United wishes to notify the public that their technical advisor, Balani Q, they've parted way by mutual consent. The management of the club, wishing the best everywhere he goes, and the Savannah Scorpions, as they call them, hope to work around the clock at the moment to get the best possible candidate to replace the technical advisor in coming days, coming from Gombe United, who are right now, they say, well, the way the team is performing, they are standing not so good. They want to make sure they get someone else who will be able to get the team to enviable heights right now in the Nigerian National League. Coming from Gombe United as their club statement, parting ways with Coach Balani Q as technical advisor. We've run through some stories in the world of sport, from NNL to MPFL, straight down to athletics over there in the US. Nathaniel Ezekiel doing well. Why also talking about the FA Cup, Fulham, Manchester United, not forgetting La Liga, where Barcelona right now are holding sway. We're straight down to Super Liga Turkish League, where Osimhen banging 2 goals, and we wrap it up with Gombe United parting ways with Balani Q. Any somebody has joined us from Lagos, we thank him one more time, and we have to go right now from the entire crew that has made this happen. I am Adeniyi Ajishafe. Keep doing sport, it's fitness and business. Thanks for watching.